Raldi? Captain Shima said, her eyes growing wider as she stared at Ambassador Ralda through the field of energy. You can't be, she said, staring in astonishment. Where did you hear that name? Ambassador Ralda replied. You can't be him, little Raldi. I was one of the children of Ambassador Shimara many, many years ago. It was there at my grandmother's home that I met a child, a Kothian, the grandchild of the ambassador at the time. I couldn't remember his actual name, only that we gave him the nickname Raldi. I remember playing games with him quite well. He was a friendly child. But to think that I would meet you again after all these years in such a way. I suppose the universe does have a sense of humor after all, Captain Shima said, staring through the field, lowering her head a bit as she moved her hair, running her fingers through it. Here, you became an ambassador, such as your grandfather, while I became a captain for the Rotar military. I'm certain that my brothers and sisters would be shocked to see what became of you as well. To be honest, I had all but forgotten about those years. Ambassador Ralda laughed. I can't believe it. And here I'd come across your name so many times in the documents about wartime efforts. And to think that you were one of those children all along. You're right, Captain Shima. The universe does have a sense of humor. No, now that I'm thinking back on it. She, right? Don't call me that. Yup, that's it. I always hated that name, Captain Shima said, with a look of disgust on her face. I am Captain Shima. I will not be given a child's moniker. Do you understand? I will be respected. Yes, of course, Captain Shima. I was just reminiscing on old times. But tell me, Captain Shima, is it your desire that the war between our worlds continue? Is that what your true wish is? For us to simply slaughter each other in droves? For a ceaseless conflict or the utter destruction of one or the other world? Don't be ridiculous, Shima replied, turning around and walking away from the field of energy, placing her back towards Ambassador Ralda. I am a soldier. My purpose is to win whatever conflict that I am placed within. The circumstances of who, what, when, where, and how are not my concern. I needn't trifle with it. I am given directives and obey them. Such is the purpose of a soldier. I leave questions of morality, right and wrong, good and bad, and all such sentiments to scholars, nobles, and ambassadors such as yourself. My only job is to win. So do not expect me to suddenly become friends with you just because you reminded me of some old childhood days. The times of peace between our worlds have long since passed. And next time, if my superiors should order your destruction, do not expect those days to save you. I will fulfill my purpose as a soldier. Lord Ralda replied, lowering his head and scratching his chin just a bit. I suppose that I could have expected as much. But all the same, I wish you the best, Captain Shima. And I hope that very soon, your job as a soldier will not be to destroy us Kothians, but rather another enemy. On that day, I truly hope that I might hear from you again, that we could be friends, as we were very long ago. Wish whatever you like, Shima replied, still facing away from the field of energy that separated her from Ambassador Ralda, as he began to step away from the field of energy, walking towards the exit doors. Wait, Lord Ralda, Vima replied, now having a bright smile on her face, as she gave chase to Lord Ralda exiting the doors of the brig. And Sostus gave a groan, rolling his eyes and following along. Well, that was an interesting exchange, Mika replied. Didn't see the childhood friend thing coming. Friends, Mika heard Captain Shima utter from inside the field. Friends are a childish concept. It appears even with time. Little Raldi never growed up, never grew to become like me, or any of my brothers and sisters, still maintaining a hope of peace and community between our people. He's just as soft as he was when he was a child. All you had to do was give him a little push, and he'd cry, as if you had broken every bone in his body. And then the moment you apologized and helped him to his feet, all the tears would just evaporate. He would forgive you immediately, without question or reserve. He was kind, foolishly kind, even back then. Foolishly forgiving, even back then. And after all these years, has not changed in the slightest. To be honest, I wonder which one of us will be proven right in the end. Will war or peace prevail? What am I doing? Driveling over philosophy and idealism, Captain Shima said, once again shaking her head and almost having a look of disgust on her face. Leave that sort of nonsense to philosophers. Ugh. Without a ship, I'm afraid I've been left with my thoughts a bit too long. No objective to be reached can cause one to overthink. This is not the job of a soldier. I can't wait to be back on board my own battleship. However, my superiors are most likely going to give me quite the lashing. I wouldn't be surprised if they downgraded my ship level. The next time I go out, I'll probably be lucky if I get a tier 2. This is going to be a black mark on my record for sure. And yet, for whatever the reason be, I don't really feel that bad about it, Shima said, looking up towards the ceiling again, as if she was lost in thought, as a smile appeared on her face. Not the normal, the somewhat disturbing smile that she usually had, but one that appeared softer, more genuine, and without malice. Well, maybe next time around we won't be on opposite sides, Nika replied. Remember, I'm not on anyone's side of this little war of yours. So, if you guys ever need a job done, don't be afraid to look me up. Once I'm done with this one, of course. I'll leave the rest to you. Dr. Ricola, please call in some security forces before you begin moving any of the prisoners. I have other things to attend to, Mika said, as she began to make her way towards the door. Do not worry. Captain Ricola will be fine. Ricola may not look it, but she is many times stronger than most races. And her exoskeleton is very dense. Trying to have conflict with Ricola would end poorly for an unarmed Rota. Still, Ricola, Mika replied. Call the security forces first. I'd hate for you to get injured. You are the ship's only doctor. Yes, Ricola understands. She will do as you wish, Captain, Ricola said, her normal twitching and jerking motions, emphasizing her speech and movement, which honestly creeped Mika out just a little bit. But she shook it off and headed for the exit doors to the brig, off on the next part and task within her current objective.